So hi everyone, welcome back to a video. We are at the Southampton Boat Show and we are joined by Wood, who is the UK distributor for Dragonfly trimarans. Today we are fortunate, we're actually going to be doing a bit of a tour. I'm going to be asking some questions about the UK debut of the 40 Ultimate Dragonfly trimaran. So thank you for joining us in this video. I genuinely really love this boat. You know, when you make up those dream boat scenarios, this is one that's always in my top 3 list pretty much. So are you able to give us basics, the dimensions and what people are looking at with this boat?
Sure. So what we have here is a very high performance cruiser. It's a sailing boat that can sail at wind speed on a reach, can exceed 20 knots on a good day, but is also very level, stable sailing because it's so wide. So this boat is 12 metres long and 8.4 metres wide. So it has massive stability. Maximum heeling angle is around 10 degrees. So it's very comfortable to be on. Unlike a conventional yacht, we're not having to brace ourselves. We can just sit down comfortably.
It's almost like the perks of a catamaran, but with all the loves of the monohull, almost.
In some ways, it has very high stability, but it sails very differently to most catamarans.
Okay.
It is much more like a very high-performance monohull with massive stability. It points high, it sails very fast upwind, it tacks very easily. That's the secret to the trimaran.
So, does this have a centreboard as well?
It does. A large centreboard, a lifting centreboard. So we have 2.2 metre draft with the board down. We lift the centreboard and rudder up. It floats in only 0.75 of a metre, so we can get into shallow anchorages very close to the beach.
That's amazing for snorkeling and any water sports and things like that, which obviously we love as well. So what sort of equipment does the standard boat come with? And then we'll work our way up to the ultimate.
Dragonflies are all built to order, so in a way they're semi-custom. We have a standard sail-away boat, and then we can add extra equipment for each client to make the boat perfect for their intended use. Depending on the climate they're going to sail in, the typical length of voyages, how many people may be on board, whether their priority is ultimate performance or more on the luxury cruising side. We can tailor the boat to suit everybody's needs.
That's incredible, because obviously I've seen some boat tours of this boat as well, and I'll link those in the description. And it's just really awesome to see how people have done that. And that's why I kind of wanted to get on this boat to see how this one's set up as well. Yeah. So one of the things that I learned from reading some reviews and things is that the way this boat is balanced and where you've put the distribution of weight, that's actually quite smart as well, I believe.
Yes, a trimaran is a little different. Of course, a conventional yacht has a heavy keel in the middle of the boat. We have no ballast at all. We get our stability by being wide, not by being heavy, which is consequently why we can sail fast. Some things that are done a little differently. For example, where we're standing right now, that's the engine room below us. So the engine's right at the back of the boat. Now the great thing about that is entirely isolated from the interior, which means if on the odd occasion we're motoring, it's very quiet down below, there's no transfer of smells. Servicing the engine is a breeze. You just open this big hatch and jump in there with it. You don't have to dismantle half the interior.
Because obviously, people that have watched our videos before as well, if we're motoring and we're in the boat, you can definitely hear our engine as we're moving. So that was one thing, again, as I saw that the engine was so far back. And also, is it right that the sail drive is forward of the engine?
That's right, yeah.
So little things so you get better steerage.
It gives very good prop thrust onto the rudder, so you get very good for manoeuvring. But the reality is we do very little motor sailing with these boats. Because we have such a light boat and a large rig, we can sail actually in light winds often in excess of the wind speed. So with just a few knots of wind, we're faster to sail than we would be to motor anyway.
So that was another reason why I was looking at boats like this in that dream world, was for light wind sailing, because the reality from us sailing from where we have down to the south of Italy at the minute, the motoring time you do in the Med, everyone usually says there's either no wind or too much wind. With a boat like this, I believe you can make use of them days still where there's no wind, and you can make good progress. So one of the things I really love as well, just first stepping on, is the amount of space that you have. So when you've got the, what do you call these extra bits, the buoyancy on the sides?
Floats, outriggers.
Outriggers,
armours. Depends how technical you want to be.
I'd call them floaty things. That
We're
go
happy
out.
with floats.
Yeah. So, in terms of the rig,
Yeah.
if you was going, so one of the places we went to was the Guadiana River, and there's bridges as you're going up the river. How tall is the rig, and is there different variations?
There are. We have, all of our boats have different size rigs. It helps to tailor the boat to different uses. It's very similar to a high-end sports car being offered with 2 different engine options to suit different clients. This is the Ultimate, so it had the taller of the 2 rigs. There is now an even taller one with the new carbon performance version. This is a 19.5 metre rig on a 12 metre boat. So it's a tall mast.
Yeah, that's a lot of power though.
It is, yeah. It is a lot of power, but it's ever so easy to manage. As you can see, on this boat we have got in-boom furling.
Yeah.
Both the head sail, the Genoa and the Code Zero furlers are electric on this one, so you really can sail this boat solo, almost push-button sailing.
So another thing that I read is, and I'm just want to understand if this is true. The winches are electric as well, and that comes as standard.
That's correct. Yep. So they're controlled with the buttons, just right next to the winch there.
That is incredible. Yeah. I'm so surprised that a boat comes so well equipped, even as a standard boat.
Well, we designed them as high-performance family cruisers, and the reality of family sailing is short-handed.
Yeah.
So it is a very powerful boat, so we have to have the systems to make it easy and safe to control. So we bring all sail controls back here, back to the helm. There's no need to go forward, apart from if you're flying the spinnaker.
Yeah.
You do everything, hoisting sails, reefing, everything from back here.
That's incredible.
And that's why it's so easy to sail solo.
So is there much in the way of the layout and how things work different to the smaller trimarans that Dragonfly offer as well? Because I was also looking at those trimarans.
Yeah. I guess obviously moving into this size has given us opportunities we just don't have in the smaller boats.
Yeah.
And one of the obvious things is the cockpit layout on this new boat, where we have a large social seating area and then the working cockpits aft.
Yeah.
And that's a big change, and that's really proved very, very popular with the clients.
Is there any different versions or any different layouts that you can have at the back, or is this the twin helm either side?
It's pretty much set. Yeah, this is on our smaller boats we offer tiller steering as well, but with the larger one here it's wheel steering only. But it's a very, very high geared, responsive. It's very similar in feel to a tiller.
Yeah.
It's very high gearing because we're travelling at high speed.
Yeah. Then you need that responsiveness to be able to react.
Yeah, that's right.
In terms of storage, what's the water capacity and like how's the boat powered?
We have 220 litres of water on here. This one's been set up with a water maker as well for long-range cruising. And then in terms of other storage, of course, the part people often forget when they think the centre hull on a trimaran is smaller than a conventional yacht is these floats. We've got enormous lockers.
Yeah.
And that's where all the sails, fenders, folding bikes, paddle boards, all of that stuff goes out in the floats, not in the centre hull.
Yeah. Is there any limits to how much weight you can put into? Because obviously I'd be very aware of wanting to distribute the weight. I wouldn't want to. Yeah. You have this amazing, beautiful boat that can do all these things, and then you just load it up on one side.
I mean, the analogy: this boat has a 900 kilo payload.
Yeah.
I think the analogy again of the sports car is very valid. If I wanted to go and have maximum fun, take my car on a track day, I would take the tools and the spare wheel out the boot.
Yeah, the golf
have it light and
clubs.
responsive. Exactly, leave the golf clubs at home. If I'm going on holiday, it's a different mode. I'm not racing now.
Yeah.
I'm fast cruising, and I'll fill the boot with the luggage. I'd put a suitcase on the roof if I had to.
Yeah.
It's a different mentality. And that's the dual role these boats do very well. If we really want to go fast, yes, keep it relatively simple. But it will carry cruising weight without a problem. They're designed, as I said, as fast cruisers. Yeah.
That's incredible. I actually love as well how like everything's quite neat and tidy and hidden. Yeah. And these buckets, I actually had a look before we started like this conversation. I was having a look in the locker bins, just where all the ropes go. So it's actually it's a massive space. And you could put so much more in there if you wanted to put like water or like wetsuits and things.
Yeah.
That's just
we're storing all of the ropes away so we can keep the cockpit tidy. Because we bring all of the ropes aft, we have a lot of rope in the cockpit.
Yeah.
So we had to develop this storage system to keep it tidy.
And is so all the instruments do you have is there different choices of companies and you would work with everyone?
There are. This boat you'll see has quite a sophisticated system with large plotters at both helms and forward. It also has a system, a masthead camera system that actually looks for obstructions in the water up to a kilometre ahead of the boat.
Yeah, I did notice that, and I was like, I do like my tech as well. So I was like, that's a nice, handy piece of kit, especially like when you're on watch. does it do infrared?
It does, day and night vision, yeah.
So if you, like at night and
Yes.
you're on watch, but realistically, you're looking at a radar most of the time, like, or looking for lights, but you ain't going to see something that's just an object that's in the water at night.
Yeah.
So that's a really cool like feature that I do like as well. Right, I think we're going to go and have a little explore around this boat, and we're going to video and show you guys everything that we see and find. But yeah, thank you so much for having a conversation.
Thanks for your
Cheers. So as we entered the saloon, it felt very bright and had a very Scandinavian feel to the interior. You were first met with a galley on your left, which has lots of useful storage and also plenty of counter space for food prep. It comes standard with a gas oven, but also has an option for an induction cooker on the options list. The finish in this boat feels done to a high standard. We didn't hear no creaking or knocks as we moved around the boat, and everything felt solid. In the centre of the saloon is a folding table which hides the lifting centreboard. This is fully enclosed, so no worries of water getting in, and it is fully controlled from the cockpit. As you enter the V berth, you step through an oval opening that has sliding doors. Now I'm sure this is to help with rigidity of the boat, but it gives more of a racing feel on the interior rather than a luxury cruiser. The V berth is pretty basic, but has good storage and enough space to sleep 2 people or 2 children. I also particularly like the hatches and also the amount of windows and the light that was able to enter the V berth. Moving back to the aft cabin or master cabin, and it's a bit of the same in there too. There is enough space for a couple to stay comfortably, and again plenty of storage for clothes and belongings. It all has a very nice finish, but also feels a little bit basic for how much this boat costs. Again, there was plenty of light coming in, and it was a very nice area. The biggest pros I believe this boat puts out there is firstly its performance. This boat will definitely get you to your destination in good time, and with the arms either side it will be a relatively stable ride. I've personally always been a bit jealous of boats that can sail in light winds without needing to turn on the motor, and this is definitely one of them. Secondly, it's the space. You get so much storage space in those arms on the boat that you won't be needing to bring wet sails, water toys into the boat, making the interior feel damp. Also with the trampolines, this gives so much more deck area to enjoy with friends at anchor having a drink or for catching a bit of sun reading a book. Now to my conclusion. If you want a fun, fast boat with lots of space that is very capable, then this might be the one for you. With excellent sailing performance and stability, it definitely sits apart from the catamarans and monohulls. I feel it does lack some of the comforts of monohulls in a similar price range. This is a compromise for the performance gains it gives. Is it still one of my favourite boats? Absolutely. Hopefully one day I'll be able to get out sailing on one and share that experience with you as well.